Hello, I'm Hallam-Baker, and this podcast is to support my RSA conference 2010 speaking proposal, Micropayments, Has the Hour Arrived? Now, if you've been looking at the state of the newspaper industry recently, you know that it's an industry in trouble. And that's led a lot of people who know that I did work in the early 90s and the early web on micropayments. They've been asking me, has the time come to use those micropayments? And so I've been looking back at the lessons from that early experience and asking, well, why didn't it work then, and what has changed since that might mean it's worth having a second go? Well, one thing that was really the last nail in the coffin was that the content providers stopped being interested in micropayments once they'd chosen advertising as their business model. Once banner advertising was established, micropayments is just too fussy, too niche to be viable, and too small of a population to support it. Now that the newspapers are seeing that advertising isn't a viable business model for them, maybe they're willing to reconsider. Second consideration was technology. At the time, micropayments were really at the outer limit of what desktop computers and what servers of the era were capable of doing. Today, you can do enough RSA to support a 1 cent transaction without any trouble. But there was another issue with the technology, in that the focus on the technology in those micropayment schemes meant that the business considerations and the usability considerations in those schemes have been neglected. In particular, one of the big concerns that the content providers voiced to me was that if they went the micropayments route and there was one micropayments provider, then down the line that micropayments provider would effectively control and own their business. And that had already happened in the broadcast satellite space in Europe, where control over the DigiCipher revenue enforcement scheme effectively had cemented BSkyB's monopoly in the UK. And the final problem was usability, in that the first round of micropayment schemes, they were really designed for geeks, by geeks, and expected the rest of the world to become geeks to use them. If micropayments are going to work at all, they have to be as easy to use as the regular web. So, in conclusion, well, I've really not come to a personal answer yet, but micropayments might just possibly be worth another go. Thank you for your time.